Cody, this goes out to you, my friend. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride, 'cause I'm wanted, dead or alive. Yes, I'm wanted, 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 dead or alive. 'Cause I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride, 'cause I'm wanted, dead or alive. All right. Well, that was fun. Cody and I talk a little bit about soundtracks. What we would like if we had our characters made into movies and stuff. And I think everybody does that who creates. A lot of us would just love to see the live action version or even like the animated motion version of the things we come up with in our head. I think it's just natural to want to do that. And all the creative people that we got together last night. I didn't do a video yesterday. I'm sorry about that, but I was listening to the stream, and then they started talking about Lost Speaks and little girl lethal. Some people had some questions, and I ended up getting on the stream, and we started John for quite a while. Just having a good old time and talking about each of our projects and becoming more of a community, and in some ways, a creative family. I think that's what some of us really wanted about this community that we have. And some people don't like to use that word community, and I think there's some legitimacy in that because of the nature of it, that word being used by other people in a detrimental way. But I think it's also apropos as well. I also think that the network is a great word. We're networking. We're using each other's talents and skills and each other's presence to help us, to help each of us. Because if we work as a team to promote each other's projects, then we can lift projects. And then if we see somebody that needs help, we can bring them in. Now, people are going to say, well, how long can you sustain that? And will it become gatekeeping if you pick and choose? Well, I don't really have a problem with anybody doing anything as long as they're not a dickhead. The minute you become some, asshole that demands that you are given this, that's the thing, like with EVS and with Richard, with Zach, and with Mitch, and all the other pros, people demanding of them might be a little too much. I think anything they give to us in their largesse, in their magnanimitude, I think would be a great thing, and it should be, taken with thankfulness and a much appreciation. But to demand that they do that, that might be too much, because they have a lot of things going, and they have paid their dues. This is true. You spend a long time in the business and have to deal with the barbs that people have been throwing at them for a long time. I can see, where they might think that these young upstarts need to put a little bit of effort before they throw them a bone. Well, it'd still be nice if they did, but if they don't, that's cool too. Because we got a lot of good people that can work together. We can do a lot of good things as a group, and I like that. Now we're hearing somebody apparently has a car that drove out here behind the Walmart, where I try to get away from everything, and yeah. Anyway, there you go. What was I talking about? Oh, we have a great group. And the group, for me, is I'm glad I met everybody. I would like to bring in more people as I see creators bring up good things. Weniger does Aldrake. I like Aldrake. He does a kind of a rudimentary style art, but he's getting better, and it's fun. I like it a lot. I did a fan art because I liked it enough to do that, and I want to see where he's going. He has an enthusiasm for his character, which he's been doing a while, which is hard to duplicate. And I appreciate that he is part of our community too. And so I encourage anybody who's listening to this, go look up Aldrake. You know, he's the dragon warrior. I call him Aldrake the badass because he shoots darkness like a shotgun out of this big warhammer that he has. That's a magical warhammer, and he wears dragon armor from the dragon he killed. And he's kind of the way Wen describes him. He's kind of a redneck knight. Like that. So he's one of the ones that I like a lot, and I've been remiss in not talking about him because we got Wanpool and we got Jack Irons and we got Sporkman, and you know there's a lot of stuff. We got Rags. Rags is great. Brian Ball. We got creators out there doing wonderful things. We got that comics gal, and I do know her name, but I'm gonna keep it. That Gal. Gal does these beautiful illustrations. She does pinups for Rags, and I've commissioned her to do one for me. And I wish that guy with his freaking car would knock it off. Just sitting over there screwing around. Yeah, nice. Joys of living in a suburb. Anyway, what? I just got knocked out of my train of thought. What the? Okay. Gal, she does these beautiful illustrations, and she just did some mock drawings for me, some rough sketches, and really, really good, really sexy. She does sexy stuff, but also has kind of an innocence to it, which it kind of lends itself to my girl Sugar, and I'm glad to see that she's doing that for me, and give her some extra spending cash to do what she needs to do in her life, and I hope that anybody out there who runs across her stuff would hit her up for a commission. She also has some great ideas in her head about doing her own project. She's a little reticent about dealing with the writing, but I think that she can handle it. She's a smart girl. So yeah, she's something that I think is needed within our community. We got Nerdy too, and there's a few other ladies. I would like to have more ladies involved. I think that I wish that Sashi would come and talk with more people, but from what I understand, she's supposedly quite shy, but she sure is a good artist. Nerdy is quite the artist too. Nerd Wonder. She's capable. We've got a lot of good talent out there that can do good things for different people and for those who want to create stuff. I encourage anybody who has an idea that they go out there and they try to make their dream come true. I mean, right now you can do things as a hobby as opposed to trying to make a living at it. But you know, even a hobby like this takes some determination, some tenacity, because it's not easy. It's not, there's a lot of things that you need to accomplish, a lot of parts and pieces that need to come together to put together a book or put together any sort of art. If you're like Mr. Marvel, Troy Torres, you can do it all together like as a one-man band because he has all the skills to do that. He wrote quite well. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not saying that I didn't think he could do stuff, but you know, it's tough to have the ability to kind of slap it all together, and he did a pretty good job. And I think he's just going to get better as time goes on, as he gains more confidence in his different the different hats he wears to produce his product and his books. He's got ideas that he's already got in the pipeline, and so look forward to what he has coming down the pike. I have a lot of ideas too for Lost Peaks, and there's a lot of like ancillary stories that kind of Sugar's peripheral to. I like to kind of interject her, like in Sin City, where you might see Marv in like a scene that's about somebody else, like Dwight's there, but you see Marv there. I like to put Sugar in scenes that way. I'm influenced a lot by the nonlinear style of Quentin Tarantino. I think just about everybody who grew up in the 90s, kind of, you know, a lot of that there. I also have a lot of the 80s influence as well. A lot of my humor comes from that. I'm kind of a sarcastic bastard. and I'm drier than I am like constantly on. I, I I'm not one of those guys that can make people laugh on cue. I see something funny and I make a comment, and if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it'll fall flat, and you got to live with it. You got to live with your crappy jokes. There's another thing about society, man. The death of comedy. I think I've talked about that before, but it needs restating. People need to people need to take the joke and they need to run with it. And you know, if life if life is terrible, then laugh at it. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up crying or complaining or being a complete utter asshole. And yeah, we're seeing the fruits of that. I see a lot of good things online. That's the thing about Twitter. I was surprised. I haven't been on Facebook, but a little bit. I mean, I deal with family and friends, but that's about it. Um, I just, it, if you keep away from certain places on Twitter, you'll be okay. And, I follow some of the pros and I see what they say and so forth, but I don't feel the need to poke the bear. I just, they can live their life. I think they're up in the night sometimes about what they think. But, people are allowed to have their opinions. I think that's what a lot of us are fighting for, is just to be allowed to have the opinion that may differ from somebody else. I'm willing to even let Nazis have their opinion, as long as they're not trying to force me into a gulag to mix political people. But that's not what I see from the other side. I see them wanting very much to do Orwellian things, and it's not a good situation. I swear there are so many people driving around in cars today, but it is how it is, and yeah, I'm bumming myself out today with thinking about the crap that goes on in our world currently. But things go like a circle. It'll go round. I just hope things aren't torn completely to pieces by the time it comes around. Hey, if you want to sub to this channel, I wouldn't mind coming to the end here. You guys have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.